Today we're going to work on right-handed tapping with pentatonics. The things that I would recommend you have at least a fundamental knowledge of would be the 5 patterns of your pentatonic scale and your box position, um, some right-handed tapping, some hammer-ons, and some pull-offs. A little bit of music and chord theory might help too. You can wing this without it. You just need to know that these patterns are movable and you should work them out in each and every key. The first thing we want to do is be familiar with these two pentatonic box patterns. Our root on the 6th string, we're going to go with the key of A for this one, for the sake of it being a little bit easier for me to notate and tab it out, and a little easier for you to learn to read it with no sharps or flats. So this is the pattern. Or you can use your pinky for the 8th fret notes all the way across. Alright, the next pattern is going to be with the root on the 5th string. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play one of these patterns with one hand and the other with the other hand. Okay, when I do any kind of a right-handed hammer-on or two-handed tapping technique, I usually just hang on to my pick between my thumb and index finger just like I normally would, and then I use my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers on my picking hand to fret those notes. I'm going to be using the 2nd and 3rd fingers on the picking hand to fret the notes in this pattern. And the way the pattern essentially works in a nutshell is that you hammer on your pentatonic pattern from up here. That's a technically it's about a 5th above. So you'll hammer on the higher note with your 3rd finger, and then you'll pull off to your 5th fret note and hammer onto your 8th note. Okay? And then you'll hit the next note, your 12th fret, with your 2nd finger, pull off and hammer on from the 5th to the 8th fret again. Okay, so in between each note, you're simply pulling off to the lower note of this pentatonic box and hammering on to the higher note on the same string. Okay, so you would do this in between each of the notes that you're hitting with your right hand. Alright, so let's check it out and see what that sounds like. Okay, now let's have a look at the next string up. The next string up in our pattern, you're going to be hammering on the notes at the 15th fret and at the 13th fret. And in between the 5th fret and the 8th fret are the ones you're hammering from the 5th to the 8th fret. So it would be like this. Alright, you put the two strings together, you have okay. Now we'll move on up. The next, it'll be the right hand with the 14th and the 12th fret notes, and the left hand hammering on between the 5th and 7th fret notes, such as see, I'm kind of holding my fingers directly over it. It's coming down just like a little hammer, pretty much similar to the way that you would fret with the other hand. Okay. The other hand, I'm using it to mute the strings above and below the string that I'm hitting to help keep it quiet. Because this hand is in the air, there's not really a lot you can do with muting with this hand. So you have to pretty much control it with the other hand. Uh, so this is going to be the same on the next three strings. 14th fret, pull off to the 5th fret, hammer on to the 7th fret, and then the 12th fret, pull off, hammer on. Oh, pardon me, the next two strings. It's going to be the 3rd and 4th string up. Alright, now the next string is still going to be with your left hand, it's still going to be the 5th fret to the 7th fret that you're hammering on. But down here, it's going to change back to the 15th fret and the 12th fret. So 15, 12. Alright, and the next string is going to change back to the 5th fret and the 8th fret with your left hand, and you're going to stay the 15th fret and the 12th fret with your right hand. So and that's the way. Those are the two patterns that I like to use. You can do that with any of the other box patterns, or in between any of the other box patterns also. It's just easier if you just can roll across with the first finger the way I see it. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But you can get fluent with all the other patterns as well. Uh, there's 5 total pentatonic box patterns, just as there's 5 diatonic patterns for each one of the scales and modes. You can walk up and down the strings as well, but that's for another lesson. I hope you guys find this useful and enjoy. Thank you.